just going to take a moment, drink you all in. Welcome. How are you? Cool. Me too. I'm going to put my phone in here. No one's calling me now. I might need this later. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Before we begin, let us acknowledge that we're on stolen land. Tonight we gather on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay our respects to all elders past and present. We thank them for the origin of our spoken word, for all the stories that we have heard, and for everything we are yet to learn. Now, before I begin, I want to hear a round of these. That is the sound that lets the poets on stage and you in the crowd know, yes, we've got you. So, because tonight we're going to hear some really beautiful things. We're going to see people showing up in their art, in their truth. We're going to hear people stumble. We're going to hear people skip over their words, because this is scary, being up here, being witnessed. And so when you see them, when you resonate, when you know this person is doing something for them, but for me too, this is the sound. Let me hear it one more time. Yep, get used to it. If it makes you feel a bit weird, you're a poet now. Congratulations, welcome. So before we begin, my name is Ren Alessandra. I am the 2020 Australian Poetry Slam champion. Thank you. It is my absolute, thank you, thanks. It's been a while now, but yeah, that's me. And it's my absolute honour to be here for the second year in a row to host the 2023, well last year was a bit different, but 2023 Australian Poetry Slam Championship Victorian State Final at the State Library of Victoria. Give it up, amazing, yes. Fantastic. Thank you so much to all of you showing up tonight. This crowd is a juicy crowd. Look at you all. I can't absolutely wait for the poets that we have tonight. And I want to get a show of hands though. Who here has never been to a poetry slam before in their life? Put your hand right up. I want to see you. Welcome. Are you new? Wonderful. So folks, for those of you that have never been to a poetry slam before, what are you in for? I wonder, what are you in for? Basically, this art form is, without a doubt, the most accessible art form. And the reason I say that is because on this stage, it doesn't matter your background, your race, your gender, your language level, your ability. It does not matter. All of those marginalised labels that our society wants to stick on you, they're valid and they're real and they're here, and it doesn't matter about any of that stuff, because this mic holds your truth. This mic is a space where people show up and they use their voice to answer the question, what do you really want to say? And so tonight, that's what we're bearing witness to. So tonight is a 2-round poetry slam. What does that look like? So 2-round poetry slam, we have 7 poets competing tonight for the top 2 places, which are going to be going through to the national final. I've forgotten the date of that. What date even is the national final? The 8th of October. The 8th of October, fantastic. Thank you, Harpreet. So the 8th of October, up in Sydney at Customs House. It's a fantastic opportunity for poets, for aspiring, emerging, established artists to get their name out into community and to start their careers. I know it's absolutely changed my life and changed the lives of so many of us in the community. And so, yeah, these poets are going to compete tonight. They have 2 minutes to perform an original piece of work. So they can't have any props, costumes, music, none of that. Just their voice and the mic. And they've got 2 minutes to perform that piece of poetry. So at 1 minute 50, have we got a sound? Have we chosen on a sound, or am I going to knock on the wall? I reckon I'll knock on the wall at minute 50, and then that poet will know that they've got 10 seconds left of their allotted time. At 2 minutes, they'll hear it again, and they'll know that they're going to lose a point after that marker. So for every 30 seconds that a poet goes over their allotted time, they do lose a point. Because, of course, this is a competition. We do have judges that are yet to be chosen from this sexy hat I got down here. And those judges are going to be scoring. Now, put your hand up if you have put your name in the hat. I just want to thank you. Thank you for putting your name in here. So the way that we're going to do this is as if you are the poets yourselves. Oh, what a vibe. I'll let you see the feathers. Isn't this just such a fit? I know, right? Thanks. So we're going to choose the judges. So if I pull your name out of this hat, I'm just trying to adjust my lashes to see you. Why do we pay for them? Honestly, they're so heavy. But they look good, so it's fine. Right. So I'm going to pull the name out of the hat. If I pull your name out, please put your hand up so our incredible facilitators can come around and give you the whiteboards. So basically, the way that all goes, I'm jumping ahead here, I'm getting a bit excited. So the way it goes is you're going to have 5 judges in the audience tonight, and they're all going to be judging out of 10. So the judges might score a 7.5, an 8.9, a 9.9, a 10, 10s all around. And those scores will get put into our score sheet on our little Excel coded, formulated Excel sheet. Who likes a spreadsheet? Yeah, you get it. All right, so we've got a spreadsheet up in here tonight, and we drop the top score and the bottom score. And the reason we do that is to avoid any bias. So we might have a lover in the crowd, and we might have a not-so-lover in the crowd. And so we try to drop those biases by dropping the top and bottom score. So the poets will be going for a top score out of 30. And so the reason that we do that, I've already explained that part. But what was I going to say? Oh, we've got a thing called the sacrificial poet as well. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. But what I want to be really mindful of is, how do we judge? What does it mean? How do we actually judge? So the kinds of things that you're looking for, judges, are the message, the quality of the performance, and the way they use their language. So you might want to use those 3 criteria. So you might be looking at, is the message something that feels really resonant with me? Is it something that seems to have really moved the crowd? Is it something really powerful for me? How do I resonate with this particular message? So that's the first criteria. The second criteria is, whoa, I love that metaphor. Whoa, I love that alliteration, internal rhyme, all about it. If you don't really know much about literary devices, that's okay. Do the words and the rhythm make you want to do things with your body? If so, then it's probably a high-scoring poem, right? And then the third one is just like, the way that they embody it, the way that they move their body, the way that they've gotten to know their poems. They're the 3 criteria that you want to be looking at when you judge a poem. Now remember, it's poetry, all right? This isn't like your VCE exams. Even then, whatever, like it's not super strict. We're just judging with the heart. We're judging with the vibe of the competition. So we're not super strict in this space, folks, all right? We are supporting poetry 110%. So we're not looking for anything really below like a 6.5. If it's below that, they're not talking. And even then, that's probably a poem too, right? So in saying that, one of the ways that we get rid of any of that, like that score creep, that like, I'm going to start off really strict, and then the poems just get better and better and better, and then you're like, oh my God, everyone is amazing, and then you end up scoring really high. The way that we avoid that in Poetry Slam is a thing called a sacrificial poet. Now, we have a very special guest, a set of guests here tonight, and I'm very excited to announce them, but we'll get to that in a moment. Judges, have I kept you waiting long enough? Yeah, you're like, oh God, am I doing this? All right, give it up. You can stomp your feet. You can do some clicking for the first judge of the night. It is, you've holded them really tight. Chelsea. Chelsea, please put your hand up. Give it up for Chelsea. Thank you so much. So Chelsea, have you ever judged a poetry slam before? You have, wicked. Well, if you would like to adopt a companion, just one. You can't alternate, all right? You got to be careful, all right? See how strict I am, but also not? Yeah, you're welcome. So, you can adopt a supportive friend if you're feeling a bit like, it's a state final, but I think you're all good. You're giving me an all good vibe. Yeah, cool. All right, stomp your feet. Go on, folks. The second judge for tonight is Pooja. Where are you? Put your hand up. Thank you so much. Give it up for Pooja. Thank you. So, how are you feeling about judging? You're good? Oh, I love that. Love that positivity, that nonchalance. Yeah, I'm sweet. I'm sweet, babe. Love it. Next. There we go. Give it up for Travis. He's down here. Thank you so much. Now, Travis, have you ever judged a poetry slam before? Oh, but you are so qualified because you're a human. And do you have stories to tell? Have you lived a life? Yeah, I'd suspect so. So welcome. You are now a poetry judge. Congratulations. You are allowed to adopt support from one member. Yep, all right, good. Good choice, good choice. Either is good choice, but good choice. All right, stomp your feet. Give it up. How many have we got? 3. We need 2 more. All right, give it up for Sue. Put your hand up, Sue. Beautiful. Hi, Sue. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. How are you? Sue's a sick poet. Give it up for Sue. And finally, the final judge of this evening is going to... Keep stomping. Sorry, I thought I could unfold it really fast, but I can't. I think that says Junie. Is it Junie? Yeah. Dewey, beautiful. Lovely to meet you. Thank you so much, Dewey. Let's get that whiteboard over. I'm going to just put that down to your beautiful poet handwriting. Gorgeous. All right. Give it up for the judges, folks. So, now that we've got the judges and you know the rules, we are ready to get started. It's exciting, it's great. So, to be clear, just to recap, we've got a 2-round slam tonight. So the way that's going to go is we're about to have our sacrificial poet, which is an opportunity for the judges to use that performance as their benchmark judging practice. All right, so that's that opportunity. Then after that, we're going to draw the 4. Makes me think of Lord Farquaad in Shrek. Pick number 3, my lord. So we're gonna. My mum's watching at home. She's gonna be like, "Why did you say that?" We're gonna draw the first 4. All 7. We're doing all 7. Yes, we're doing all 7. We're doing all 7 poets in the first round, and then we're gonna have a break, and then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna do the top 4. So we're going to announce who got through that round and then the top 4. And then we're going to have me perform and be your feature for this evening. And I have a very special little set to gift you tonight. I'm really, really honoured to do that. And then we are going to have a final performance from a special guest. And then you're going to find out who wins. But if we go into, if there's a draw, then we're going to have another round of poetry, which is very exciting. So the poets know that they need to be prepared, because it is actually quite likely that the scores will draw. It happens more often than you'd think. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, so please welcome to the stage our very, very special sacrificial poet for this evening, the incredible Nikki Vivica.
An ode to my pussy. My pussy whispers to me in my mind. My pussy has suggestions of things we could try. My pussy doesn't care what I'm trying to do. My pussy has plans, but they'll never come through. My pussy tells me how to move with my hips. My pussy snatches my breath, makes me bite my lip. My pussy flutters my cheek and flutters my lashes. My pussy has dreams, but they'll all turn to ashes. My pussy stirs a man's voice in a song. My pussy purrs a hug which I wish lasted longer. My pussy churns a body's width of bed lying bare. When I think about sex, my pussy wants to be there. My pussy, untouched, keeps me up through the night. My pussy, unseen, wakes me up just to cry. My pussy, unreal. My pussy, denied. My pussy must wait, and she doesn't know why. My pussy whimpers. My pussy groans. My pussy won't fucking leave me alone. My pussy demands things which I'll never feel. My pussy's a dream that screams to be real. My pussy sobs to me in my mind. My pussy mourns things which we could have tried. My pussy haunts all my nights like a ghost. My pussy's a promise that my body broke.
Give it up for Nikki Vivica. Oh, I should have said content warning, folks. We don't censor things here. I love that. Thank you so much, Nikki. Oh, awesome. Judges, let's get those scores up in 3, 2, 1. This is an opportunity for you to have a practice. How are you going to judge your poems? This is your benchmark for the way that you are going to judge the competition tonight. We've got a 9.2. We've got a 9.2. We've got a 7.5. We've got an 8.0 and an 8.8. Give it up for Nikki. Awesome. So that is exactly the reason why we want to do this round, because I've realised that I didn't give one more piece of information. Every decimal point matters. So that's one of the things that we try not to do with poetry is score an 8.0 or a 7.0. That's my doing. So you need to decide, is it a 7.9 or an 8.1? Because those markers are so powerful. Like, you look at a score sheet and the difference between who's first and who's third is literally like, half a point in total. It's crazy. So yeah, it's exciting. Are we ready? Are we ready? So folks, we are stepping into the first round of the Victorian State Final at the State Library of Victoria of the 2023 Australian Poetry Slam Championship. Start stomping your feet. Let's give it up for the first poet of the evening is Garvey. Woo!
Thing I miss about the States, well, shoot, you could point in any direction and proclaim with certainty there is a cornfield with a mile. You be right, there's a comfort providing monocropping. My first job, detasseling. Raise the sharp leaves, cut me deep. I bled on the Innes family farm, fertilize the soil. Next season's crop of Monsanto seeds. Thing I miss about the States. Pick up the East Coasty accent. Gritty appears a week before Pence approaches town. His face pops up on every protest sign. The world tried to clown on the new Flyers mascot. We surround and protect him. See, that is my emotional support. Eldritch being how very dare. I was never a sports ball girly until the Eagles were in the penultimate showdown. City workers greased light poles in the hopes that we would stay grounded. They use a petrol-based product. West Philly Crunchies get so upset for the week of the Super Bowl they use Crisco. I am personally offended at this decision, as I had already chosen to ruin a cute outfit's worth of clothes, but I felt like fucking Mario. Poetry and my mouth wouldn't make a sound. I didn't need to explain what it meant to be culturally deaf. Just people kind of knew what I meant. The man who isn't yet my dad gives me my sign name twice before the third one. Purple hair sticks. Now, we haven't talked in 12 months. Each morning, I wake up and choose whether he is dead or doesn't want to talk to his only kid. I keep going for the latter, but my mental health is hanging on by the bottom rung. The thing I miss about the States. We Hicks all knew about the physics of supersaturation. We Hicks all knew about the physics of supersaturation. I didn't need to hear another explanation about how you can pour sugar into the already cold glass of tea. Like it won't just cloud, form dust, cluster around the mouth of the straw, hit the back of my esophagus. The thing I miss about the States, well, I was raised below Mason-Dixon line. We were of union persuasion, so let me give it to you plain this time. Sweet tea, not one more damn thing.
Give it up for Garvey. Judges. Oh, now it's too short for me. Oh. Clearly I don't wear these often. All right, judges, get those scores up. In 3, 2, 1. We've got a 6.9. We've got a 7.9. We've got a 7.9. An 8.2. And a 9.5. Applaud the poet. Just out of interest, because this is a community event, those two judges up the back have scored the same thing twice. So I'm getting like a vibe. There's like some angel number situation going up in that corner. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Do not collaborate. but I just want to see how it goes because I think it'll be quite cute. All right, so give it up. Let's get those shoes stomping. The next poet of the evening to compete in this part of the heat is Andrew Rogerson. Woo!
You come to look for a king, so you best not miss the coronation. Crown conjured by the crowd. Everybody's got parasocial butterflies in their stomach all of a sudden. Because they never got invited to my back rooms where, if the walls could talk shit, they would ask, is your blue the same as my blue? What do you want to melt into? Our pains, our joys in parallel stewed. What do you want to melt into? When the crusade is over, when the violence is through, what do you want to melt into? Call me the Amazon because I burn at both ends. Crown of fire, singed temples, crown of thorns, brambled ankles, life and death in my tongue, sheep and goat on the run from the wolf I feed. The wolf I feed. The wolves you threw me to, the wolves I feed. I need my weeds to grow with my wheat, to warm my crowns, my head, my feet, so I can melt into. What do you want to melt into? Wax, poetic on our stage, a slot in the candelabra. And by candlelight, we'll hope to see clearer than a blue light LCD, a red light district, a green light. Go, you very good thing. Stop setting yourself ablaze to keep others warm, but carry your fire, carry your thorns. Give thought to thawing. Let the questions imbue. What do you want to melt into? Thank you, Melbourne.
I'm crying and laughing. Crying at that and laughing at this. Oh my God, Andrew, thank you so much. Judges, get your scores up. In a 3, 2, 1. We've got a 9.2 and a 9.3 and a 7.9 and an 8.5 and a 9.6. Give it up for the poet. Okay, so just an update. It's a 2 for 2, but like one decimal point up there. So yeah, you guys should chat. Not now though. All right, get stomping. The next poet to be competing in this part of the heat is Kiera. Woo, 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 woo. What do you reckon? You my height? Maybe a bit shorter. Oh no. No, you're good.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks. I am literally the worst poet ever. It took me 3 days to write that opening sentence. If poetry was a disease, I must be immune, but still, I spend hours upon hours scrolling through YouTube looking to be motivated into writing something that doesn't exist yet because I felt an obligation to be the bearer of bad news, like how boys are slowly dying. 75% of all Australian suicides are male. Girls have a 1 in 3 chance of being raped. In fact, assault is usually the one thing girls seem to always come out on top of. Facts. This generation is obsessed with them. Everything is in fact, after the fact. Matter of fact, we wear statistics like a victory flag because we find comfort in complaining, but it is hard to pick up our pens when it feels like we are powerlifting. I am the worst poet ever. I'm the bearer of bad news. I wear statistics like a victory flag. Facts are a game to me. The first game we learn to play is hide and seek with the stranger on the street, which quickly becomes Simon Says if he ever finds you. Now, I totally get how this is becoming one of those angry Gen Z poems, those claim my rights and bag out your mum poems, those generation with the really strong thumbs poem, the cancel culture who doesn't care when the time comes poem. But I assure you, this is just a bad poem. I am a bad poet. I find comfort in complaining. I have really strong thumbs, but I can't pick up a pen. Everything feels like the end of the world. I love you, Mum. I am the worst poet ever. I make you laugh at the worst poetry ever, leaving you questioning your sanity, or my sanity, or the sanity of this great big world that we're all trying to make sense of. But I am for peace, and I am for love, and I am certain that for our generation to pave the way, we're all going to have to listen to bad poetry for a day.
I don't know about you, but I'd take another Gen Z poem any day. Oh, thank you, Kiara. That was unreal. Judges, get your scores up in 3, 2, 1. We've got a 9.2 and a 9.8 and an 8.9 and an 8.5 and a 9.7. Give it up for Kiara. It's pretty unreal having youth do things. That sounded really condescending. It's not. The reason I say that is because I didn't discover poetry until I was 25. And I think about the stuff that I went through when I was your age, which wasn't really that long ago, really. I'm only 30 now. And I think about it and I think, far out, if I knew that this outlet existed, if I knew that this community was a thing, if I knew that there was a space where I could share my story and have my voice heard, I wonder how loud I would be today. And if you know me for 5 minutes, I'm pretty effing loud. So yeah, I'm really proud of seeing youth show up on this stage and to just get through to the state final of an Australian championship. What the fudge? That's unreal, unreal. I love it. I really love it. I'll swap sides now just for some, what's the word? Symmetry. Yeah? Yeah, cool. I'm an English teacher. What? Anyway, stomp your feet. What are we doing? Next poet for the night is Eve. All the way, applaud her all the way to the stage. All the way to the stage. Yep. Yep.
What I want to know is, where did we go wrong? When did we decide that we should shame our kids? At what point was it wrong for us to be us? Who forbids? Why are we chipping, cracking, whipping, attacking, shattering, destroying, battering, annoying, ruining the children of this generation's sense of self-worth, self-love, the knowledge that they belong on this earth? How do we live in a world where 9-year-olds are worried about the measurements of their hips and girls of 15 wanting Botox in their lips? Why do adults concern themselves with the way a girl's skin looks at 17, but she has clumpy mascara running down her cheeks? See what I mean? Because you've missed everything that you're doing wrong. And I've seen it too, what happens to these girls. They feel the need to stuff their bra with tissues and socks, and yet every house made of glass is throwing more boulders than rocks. And we continue to keep breaking, but laughing carefully constructed giggles, aching in every corner of our heart, hating ourselves for waking, crying every night, and shaking from every limb, waiting for the moment that we're pulled under, hoping that maybe one distant day will be good enough, pretty enough, curvy enough, but still skinny enough to deserve the knowledge that we belong on this earth, to find our worth and to be grateful for our birth. But we still have to pretend that we're strong, to hold our heads high, keep singing our song, but with the lyrics that you think belong. And I wonder where we went wrong.
Eve, thank you. Judges, give your scores up in 3, 2, 1. We've got a 9.5. We've got a 9.1. We've got a 9.6. We've got a 9.5. We've got an 8.8. Give it up. Samira! Woo! Yeah, she's way taller than me. All right. Come closer.
I think that's good.
You think that's good?
Yeah.
All right. Wait for me to sit down because I'm coughing.
Whitewashed. One word to say, too white to be brown and too brown to be white. To say that I am a fake, a fraud, a pretender, to scream that I will never truly be this country's member. Instead, I will be whitewashed. I will disguise who I am with words that you use, change my accent and only listen to your views, change the music that I like and the words that I write, and I'll create a whole new identity in the hopes that one day you will finally like me. Not who I'm pretending to be, not the person who laughs at the same racist jokes you do, but the person who will speak up for what is right and true, the person who will speak up for their culture before you steal it like a vulture. Yet when you call me whitewashed, I'll suck the sweetness out of it and I'll dull the sting. You disguise your venom with sugar. I know what you're trying to say. Whitewashed. You are more like us than we thought. You are more like you should be. You have abandoned your culture and will only experience half of ours. You are a fraud in this country. You're not brown nor white, just a fake. You are living a life belonging nowhere. You are a mistake. So when I see them mocking the smell of a brown girl's lunch, making her head duck and her shoulders hunch, I think I should say something. I really, really should say something. Stop them, fight them, stand up for myself. I'm going to say something. I will say something. I'm not whitewashed because I want to be. I'm whitewashed because you won't accept me. I'm whitewashed because I want to belong. I'm tired of repeating the lyrics of the same song. I'm going to say something. I will say something. I can't say something. Because if I show them the reality of the person they ignore, they won't accept me at all anymore.
Judges, get your scores up in 3, 2, 1. We've got a 9.5 and a 9.5 in the back. Yeah, you're on. Sick. We've got a 9.8, a 9.7, and an 8.9. Give it up for Samara. Kiera, how old are you? Samara, how old are you? Eve, how old are you? Yeah, folks. As a teacher, as an artist, as a human, makes me really proud to be able to be a part of a community and an art form that holds space for all of us, particularly our young people that have to bear the burden of all the stuff that we are only really coming to terms with now. And it's just so important, isn't it? And 13, 14, 15, what? Yes, poetry. Stomp your feet for the next poet, folks. The next poet for tonight, the penultimate of this round, is Cameron. Yes.
It's an honor to be here. This is a little collage. It's called Lethal Detox. I am a cyclist now. Let me tell you all about protein. Every day I dish out raw, unbridled enthusiasm, leaving very little behind in the jar. I travel forwards through time at the speed of ordinary time. Presiding over trench coat karaoke, losing my Sharona. Watch as the four-wheeled wildlife play musical electric chairs. Watch as a breeze blows stiff with a taste of yesterday's bitter pill to swallow, 'cause in this town even the seagulls drink lattes. How could you turn your desire into disorder? How could you twist your signals into an act of fever desperation? How could you wear a Hawaiian shirt tucked in? Leaving behind a legacy of cigarettes and sweat, you never learned that love is not a firework, it is a fungus that grows slowly in strange and unexpected places. Thank you.
Cameron, thank you so much. Love it. And like all of it's so true. Judges, get your scores up in 3, 2, 1. We've got an 8.5. We've got a 9.2 and a 9.2. All right, so you two now. Yeah, cool. And a 9.7 and a 9.8. Give it up for Cameron. Put that one in my pocket. It's done, I'm not cheating. All right. I mean, there's only one more poet, but you don't know, so yeah. The final poet of this round is Harpreet. All the way to the stage, all the way to the stage.
Could you just help me out with this? Wait. Yep.
Gather brothers, gather sisters, soothe your blisters by the fire, a fire that's claimed countless sisters in the name of a faith we call by many names. But I'll call it sexism. Our book of laws, a code we bear, for our fathers long for us to be their sons so desperately we fly into them. Our faith grants us wings, wings allowing our brothers to soar above desires in a garden we were meant to share. Eve demonstrated she can't be trusted to not be ensnared. But these wings make us tormentors, noosing women with the snare of our words, whipping with our tongues, captivated by desire, pricking splinters into all. It shouldn't blind us to the divine truth. When our sisters' spires have expired, we revile their broken bones. By grace, we've been blessed with truth so fine. You stand as testament to our design, putting our sisters in their place so that they're worth less than pence. Our sisters are the lamb we must slaughter to sustain the system, free flying feathers drafted by the winds of victimization, not seen as criminals like us, but rather as objects. Now, there are those who would defy us, dissidents without repent are bent on questioning the dais, hunting whispers to infinity. We sing the hymns and litanies, hand in and skin these sinners if we wish to skim divinity. Each quiver will deliver us deliverance in time, burn the innocence for penitence if we preempt the crime. Unquestioning our destiny, relentless we pursue fate. We must invoke our final crusade. Our book of laws is closed, its pages shine a light. People in the shrines align with our divine right. A battlement of sacraments is chattered to our right. The sacrilegious and recalcitrant shall vow or face the smite. Non-believers shan't deceive us. We shall greet their cheek with grievance in this ceaseless season. We redeem the meek with bleak obedience, seeking each unheeding heathen, see them bleed or plead allegiance. Our philosophy molds men to make our sun rise, so our women are ready for the slaughter.
Yes. Judges, get your scores up in 3, 2, 1. We've got an 8.8 and an 8.8 and an 8.9. We've got an 8.7 and a 9.3. Applaud the poets. Amazing. So folks, that brings us to the end of the first round of this state final. So before we go to a break, first of all, let's applaud everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. So before we go to a break, I'd like to share a poem with you, if you'd like. I'd love to share a poem with you. Thank you. This one I performed last year on this stage, but I feel like it has, seasoned well. You know, when you get to know a poem and it just gets real good. You know, you get to know a piece of art, you get to know a part of yourself, and it just grows and it not festers but blooms. And so this poem is called Our Feminism. And after this, enjoy a break for 20, and then we'll come back for the second round. Thank you so much. Our feminism looks like marble, a statue emerged from the stone. It is laced with all the traces of the system and the scars and the system that have carved these bones without our consent. Our feminism makes you uncomfortable because we care how you speak. We have expectations of you that you are scared you cannot meet. Our feminism comes in one shade, the cattiest red, and it creeps up your insides when we're not around and shapes the way you recount how we put you in your place that time you crossed our boundaries and cut us out. Our feminism is not anti-you, it is to better you. Because autonomy in my world should be spelt capital R-E-N, because I said so. If you are squirming in your seat, I advise you check yourself before we do. You have quotas to meet. It's time to catch up. Because we are tired of talking about the things that we should be bettering when you do not make choices that lift us up. Have you ever told a woman that her period is beautiful? A reminder of who brings life, who brought yours? Have you kept our bodies safe and warm when they have been shared with you? They have not been gifts. Do not get worth confused. It will not fly here. Our feminism knows it's hard for all of us. Storm cloud skies synonymous with patriarchy. We know it hurts you too, because the things in you that you see in us but continue to deny yourself only lengthens the chasm between imbalance and a new kind of Zen state, of total connection and a dissolve of the distance. Our feminism is the ride to our joy, the vehicle to equality, to equity, where we all use words freely like consent, contraception, abortion, emotions, financial fucking freedom. So don't argue until you know each of those words. Understand how those conversations in motion help us all thrive, but now we're silenced by them. Understand their definition. We have no future without them. Thank you. Folks, we'll see you in 20 minutes. Thank you so much. Thanks. Oh, if only my students got quiet when I got up the front. Never, never, ever, ever. Bless them. Welcome back. How are we feeling? Yeah, we top up our little vino rosso. Yeah, who got a drink? Proud of you. Well done. Enjoy yourself. All right, so now we are moving into the second round of tonight's Victorian State Final. Give it up for all of the poets. Amazing. So just a little recap, all right? We've got 4 poets competing now. I'm going to pull the names out of the hat. Normally, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you at all. I'm just going to let you find out in the moment. The poets already know, so congratulations to all the poets who have got through. Congratulations to all the poets who competed tonight. The fact that you are representing yourselves and your towns or your city at the state final is such a sick accomplishment. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. It's amazing. And I know this sounds really rich coming from someone who's won the championship, but it isn't actually about winning. It's not. It's about community. It's about showing up for ourselves, for each other, sharing our stories. And something I love to say when it comes to spoken word is the truth that when you get on this mic and you bear witness to someone sharing their story, you don't realize you might be witnessing someone answering the questions you don't realize you're asking. And that gift, that spoken word, continues to give over and over and over again is a testament to how powerful this art form is. So regardless of who wins tonight, who doesn't, whatever, congratulations, go do the thing. Yes, do the thing. But at the end of the day, what are we here for? We're here for storytelling, aren't we? So congratulations to everybody. How sick. So cool. I'm so proud of it. So, without further ado, the first poet that is going to be competing tonight in this final round, do the foot thing. Yeah, judges, are you ready? You're ready. All right, give it up for Cameron. Woo!
I just have a little story. It's a true story. It's called Gentle Leafy Neighbor. One morning I awoke early, and I knew that today was the day I was going to talk to the trees. Those great stalwart guardians of nature, filled with sap and made of wood. I strode out to the Botanic Gardens, walking along, sauntering a little, beneath the grand canopies, looking for the biggest, strongest, oldest, wisest tree, and finally there I saw it, the great grandmother tree. I lay down beneath the canopy, nestled in the roots, close my eyes and drift off, and I whispered, "Oh, great grandmother tree, share unto me your wisdom." And the great grandmother tree said, "Piss off. You homicidal, genocidal, overgrown, hairless primates. I want nothing to do with the species that invented the chainsaw and glyphosate compound. Get out of here before I smash you like a common avocado."
I love that we could just relive that again right there. Karen, thank you so much. Judges, oh, what a joy. Judges, get your scores up in 3, 2, 1. We've got a 9.3. We've got a 9.3. Oh, synchronicity. We got a 9.7, a 9.1, and an 8.9. Give it up for Cameron. Glyphosate. What is it? Glyphosate compound. Love it. I don't even know what that is, but I do now. All right. Do the stomping. The next poet to compete is Eve.
For the toughest person I know. Poems flower out of my pen, messily blotting themselves on the lined row of my notebook. They wrap phrases around the rhythm of my typing, some with meanings carefully concealing themselves behind metaphors, others more loud and literal. But none of them are as special as this, because this one's for the mothers. My mother, your mother too. Every mother and all the mothers that sit in the mysterious branches of your family tree. They're special. The mothers who brought in your sisters and your brothers, the mothers who stress about their hair and its slowly silver colours, the mothers who only worry of others, only thinking of themselves with the quietest of utters. I must be a terrible mother, but they're wrong. The mothers using their voice brave and unshaken when ours stutters. The mothers, for it is us that they bear hug, their blanket of love around and smother, for it is them that when we run out of chances, they give us another. The mothers, for they're the best, the mothers, every single one. They get all the kids to school mothers, the 9 to 5 mothers, the napping at 4 in the afternoon because they're working the night shift mothers. The mothers, the never blinking stare at the baby monitor mothers, the holding your hair off of your face in the toilet bowl mothers, the never again grossed out by a nappy mothers, the cry at night mothers, the scared but strong mothers, the mascara stained cheeks mothers, the mothers. Every mother, with every I'm fine that isn't true, this one's for you.
Thank you, Eve. Thank you so much. Thank you. Judges, get your scores up in 3, 2, 1. We've got a 9.2. We've got a 9.3. We've got a 9.5. We've got an 8.9 and a 9.6. Give it up for Eve. You know what to do. Kiera!
So am I, but it still doesn't matter.
I blame my mom.
Should write a poem about that. Dear baby boy, the one that cradles the Barbie doll. Baby doll, listen to your mama. You know she knows best. She's got a nose for these things. When you're all growing up, things are gonna start changing, but don't you change, baby. Don't you let them other boys drive the rosy pink out of your cheeks with their Tonka trucks. It's our favorite color. It reminds us of laughter. Boy, never stop laughing. Laugh until you cry, baby, and when you cry, don't let them other boys weave your tears into the patchwork of patriarchy. You don't belong there. Know where you belong, baby. When them other boys invite themselves into that special place called woman, you wait outside on the welcome mat. You may invite your manners in, but if she ever comes knocking at your place, you close the door behind you. Life is not a race. You take things one at a time, baby. And when you're going down that street, you better pay attention to the red lights and the stop signs. Be sure to wave a couple of them red flags through, though, because before you toot your own horn, you better have all your ducks in a row. Don't give me that look, baby. Mama knows everything. She's got a nose for these things. Don't go stumping on the world in your steel cap boots. Stilettos hurt just as much when kicked in the right place. Boy, you are gonna make mistakes. Life is not a fairy tale. Just don't be the little boy bluebird with the yellow brick teeth jumping on every Dorothy you pass in the street. No, baby, Mama raised you to be the boy who stops to sing to the rainbow. You have a voice, baby. Take it from Mama, you will have no problem using it, but remember to listen. People don't need you speaking over them. They can speak for themselves if they have someone to talk to. Now, enough talk, baby boy. You have some growing up to do.
I'm biased, I'm not crying. Oh, judges, get your scores up in 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. We've got a 9.3, we've got a 9.4, we've got a 9.6, a 9.6, and a 9.6. Yep. Give it up for the last poet of the night. Oh, wow. It is Samira. Scrub away your skin, wash it clean, scratch off those sins, sins that you were made from. Forget what you've learnt, you were raised wrong. Scrub away your skin, scrub away the colour and raise your chin. Forget your identity, the only words you are to utter are to support white supremacy. Scrub away your skin until it flakes white. Scrub away your culture and you'll be just right. Scrub it away until your blood pours on the ground. Scrub it away until your true identity is never found. Because we don't want your generation stolen. We want it hidden. Frail and fragmented and forbidden, we will take your kids and whisper you cons, bury them with the same soil you raised them on. Because the stolen generation wasn't made to be stolen, but forgotten. Wiped clean from history and seen as rotten, they were forced to make themselves erased, begged to those that bound them with tears on their face. They were forced to keep their mouths shut and never resist, because how can you steal something that would never exist? And we'll say that we've left it in the past, but why are our mistakes catching up to us this fast? Because we forget the soil we are standing on is made from ash and tears. We forget that it is made from an Aboriginal's fears. We forget that it is made from the bones of stolen children, the bones of a hidden religion. And we continue to trample across soil ridden with rubbed off skin. Losing their identity was truly our biggest sin. We have stolen their land and their home and created a new one made from their bones.
We have taken more than their words, subjected them to a lifetime of being unheard, and now the stolen generation is again becoming forgotten. I think at the core, we might just be rotten.
We got some youth with the voices in the house tonight. Judges, get your scores up for the last poet of the evening. In 3, 2, 1. We've got an 8.9. We've got a 9.2. We've got a 9.2. We've got a 9.4 and a 9.8. Give it up for Samira. Folks, that's all the poets that are competing tonight. Give it up. Now, while those scores get put together, there is a chance that there will be a draw. So there's an opportunity maybe for a battle, a slam battle at the end of the night, but we'll find out. But now we're moving into the part of the night where your feature artist gives you a feature set, and I am your feature, and so I am going to do a feature set for you tonight. Thank you very much. So I'm excited to do this because in April, I was very privileged with an invitation from the State Library to participate in a season of work called Experimental, where they commissioned 12 different creative artist groups to come in and do a show, and they asked me, what do you want to experiment with? And I said, I want to experiment with this collection I'm writing called Wog Girl, because we know about Wog Boy, but where are the girls? Hey. So I had the privilege of putting that show together and performing it at here at the library back in April. And so I thought it made sense to bring it full circle to do it on this stage again. But it's a 45-minute show. We're not here for 45 minutes, don't worry. And usually you can imagine I'm wearing an apron and there's a table set up. And so I want you to imagine that. And essentially you're having a meal with me. But tonight it's just going to be a set of poetry. So usually with a feature set, a poet will perform a poem and you'll applaud, a poem and you'll applaud, you know, all that. But my invitation now is for the next 15, 20 minutes, just sit back, listen to this story, click along. You'll notice where I pause to move into the next poem, but an applause can wait till the end. So just sit back, enjoy the story. I want to give a content warning for this: intergenerational trauma, migration, and sexism. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this story. It's called Wog Girl. My body is starting to remind me of her. A bit rounder like hers, a bit softer like hers. A bit more European woman than I ever thought I could be, with all our herstory under the rug. I can't help but caress the cavern of my identity, peer deep into the abyss and wonder what I might find in there. A desire to make pasta, a knowing of the right pronunciation, a trust of my own translations, but the abyss only grows wider. I wasn't raised on looking for Alabrandy or Effie. I was raised on white girl stories, on Disney stories, not Italian stories. Does silence stem from survival or shame? When the country your blood trusted only mocks you in stereotypes and you don't know what that means, can you even notice? How can you claim an identity if you don't see it represented? Does that absence reframe you? I am standing on the abyss between me and my Italianness, wondering if I even am at all. How can I battle a feeling that I'm from somewhere if I feel like I know nothing? Nothing really, except I know her in my body. I feel her in my body. When I say wog, you hear boy. Wog boy, wog boy, wog boy. But where are the girls? When I say wog, you think fully sick. You put your fucking hands like this. Generations and dialects from Romans reduced to Family Guy quotable moments. A buppity boopy. I love that for you. Mocking a language you will never understand. You want to eat, pray, love us, but not acknowledge the history. Our families were called Dagos, the Chinese of Europe. On their passports, they were branded occupation alien, but white enough and Catholic. So it's not racist to call them wogs. Treat them like wogs. Wog, like dog, but with a muzzle. Did you forget that? How racist we are. There once was a girl named Woggarella. For the sake of their Anglo tongues and the inane reality that they still couldn't roll their R's, they just called her Ella. The government decided Ella's parents were white enough to enter this country. They needed to build the economy. But Ella's only 8. She's still trying to understand why people call her Ella only sometimes, let alone explain what will later illuminate itself to her as being racism. But not be racism because she's white enough and Catholic. But I digress. At school, there aren't many that look like her, or eat like her, or sound like her. That's why they pick on her name. Because identity means nothing on a foreign tongue. And gender in the 60s doesn't teach you how to spell boundaries, and all these words now are still so privileged, so they take her name. She notices, but says nothing. Ella's a pretty name. The nuns don't like her because she likes to talk with her hands. So they tied them up. Catholic nuns tied her up while calling her Ella. Ella couldn't go to the toilet. Wogs like her couldn't go to the toilet. While other kids went to the toilet, Ella peed her pants. More than once. With her hands tied. Without her name. It doesn't take long before other names get given, and so they called her the little fat wog girl. Pulled her skirt up, kicked her lasagna, her homemade pasta, and would say, "Yuck, are you eating an onion?" It's a finocchio from my mother's garden. But a mother's garden loses pride when the older kids start following you home. Meet you on the gravel track between rock and road to beat you, kick you to stone, laugh at your tummy rolls, call you names you can't translate, but each boot print does, you know. She can't tell her mother. She knows she would just say, "Be strong, get on with it." Like she had to get on with it. And so she did. And the days passed and the routine became a chain across the entire country. And all the Woggarellas had their names whitened. And all the signoras had to be too hard to know what to say. And the lasagnas got kicked and the homegrown food got thrown out or eaten in hiding because signora would find out. And skirts got peed wet and lifted over their heads. And then there was silence. All the silence. Until Ella's sister found out. It's a little bit different when you're 12 years older and you speak both languages and you know what all the words mean and you've been beaten around the block too many times to let this one go. To think of all of the meals uneaten, that's love unreceived, all of the names misspoken, and so Sorella got on with it. And like any girl would do, like every Wog girl would do, for her sister and for her name, she hunted those shits down and punched them. In each of us, each woman, there is a part of yesterday's woman. It's she who informs us. She takes up space, inhabits us. But the present does little to compare to the long blazing trail from the path in which we were carved, from which we crystallize. She is inveterate in us, unlikely to ever really change. She is the unconscious of ourselves forming us. Her story, repeating. Her story, repeating. Branded in the etymology of every WOG woman's identity is figura. Imagine a mirror and your reputation is in it. What do you want to see? A best woman, mother, wife, good-looking thing of a fellas. That pedestal you're carving is figura. That pedestal you're climbing is figura. If figura was your friend, she would say, you look a bit fat. And, hey, you look good. But looking good is the standard and people talk. And it's a good thing when people talk, so look good. Brush your hair and put on lipstick whenever you leave the house. Wear your good undies, always, in case you end up in hospital. Clean all the rooms, but then shut half the doors when the comadre come over. Make a good impression, always. Married at 29, Figura becomes that friend to Ella. She mocks her dishes, scoffs at laundry, cringes at skid marks. Come on. She doesn't leave the skid marks, but it's her job to clean them. Washing her hands, images flicker in the mirror. Shit. I'm mum. Signora's shadow howling. Ella realises that when she twitches and says, "It's 5, I've got to get on with dinner," she's saying much more than that. Woman, mother, wife. It is her role. It is how things are done. Always was and always has been. Ella realises that this role, this expectation, this newfound anxiety that creeps up her esophagus is her inheritance. And she realises that here she is, reproduced from the long blazing trail from the path in which she was carved, in which she has crystallised. And she sees herself mirrored in her mother's movements, her mother mirrored in hers, and there she is in all she would do. In the brodo for her children, in the shape of her apron, in the way that she tells them, be strong, be proud of yourself. We don't take shit from nobody. So when her kids ask her, "Mum, where are we from?" the splinter deepens to admit she's never been. At 35, they travel to the countryside, deep in the mountains of Lazio, outside of Rome. Her mother's town is captive to opportunity. It is the only time they will see it together. Signora laments the olive groves, the ristoranti, the trough tunneled out of the street side where the fresh water flowed, where the mother would gather wash on the boards and chatter, how all of it is gone. Ghosts in bodies older than hers float around streets now, and Ella realises that her motherland, her mother's town, is dying off with them. Strolling down the childhood street, Signora holds her daughter's arm. "Sorella ahead," she said. "We had food, but not much to eat. We had what was on the farm, like eggs, bread, and very rarely meat. Not what we have in Australia." Ella realises that eating was an opportunity. That growing up, every time her mother said, "We came to Australia for more opportunities," she knew what that meant, but didn't know what that meant until now. For the first time, as if the mountains have gifted her tongue, Signora tells her daughters that when she was young, her mother called her stupid, more than once. Her husband's mother called her ugly, still does. No woman in her life believed in her. Ella thinks back to all of the car rides, the silence and the shame, and here her mother never shied from her name. Her mother married a man via proxy. She said it was like a normal wedding, just your father wasn't there. And when her parents let her leave Italy because she was married, she travelled on a boat, stuck in her room, crying for weeks, comatose. And when she came to her new home, it was a shed on a farm with less than back home. You have to realise there was no heater, no freezer, no toilet, And Ella imagined her mother terrified but still have no way to say it. She asked her, "Were you happy?" Non ha senso. That doesn't make sense. Because remember, back then, happiness was not a concept. Emotions are for those who can afford them. Thank you. Emotions are for those who can afford them. And Ella wonders what more there was of her mother that she wished she knew growing up. Because a child can't blame their parents for their shortcomings or what appears to be shortcomings, because a child has no knowing of who the parent was before they had them and who their parents were and what they knew. And Ella realizes that her mother's silence was of self-preservation, a word she never knew. Signora's silence was of protection, a knowing she had to earn. This shame is dissolving in acknowledging it is not really mine. In its place, grief shimmers for a culture I will never have again. All my nonni are gone. This language allows me learning. Intergenerational trauma fractured my identity. It left me stranded in Italy, othered me here subtly, just enough to wound me. Migration isolates us, and for so long, never gives us the knowing how to wonder why. But migration is not mine. I will always wonder how it really shapes me. Because who could I have been if Mum's role wasn't so constrained by culture? Who could she have been if her mother's role wasn't so constrained by culture? What have they really passed down to me? My body tessellates with their story. Lean out of the way and see the long blazing trail beyond. Nonna's footsteps, Signora's footsteps, and before. Their thick skin, unbreakable heartstring, bones to tree trunks, formidable column, holding themselves and everyone up in her role, out of love. Our images overlap inevitably. Wagarella is in my body. I know her in my body. In the absence of a language, I still have questions that cliff hang over the abyss of my Italianness and my Australian, all their inheritance in their work and in their silence, in her work and in her silence. No wonder we are so loud. There are layers of reclamation we are still translating, and our absence in the narrative means we don't know how, but we're getting on with it. All I know is my nonna died in her garden after making a lasagna, with her youngest grandson, her only son, and her oldest daughter, in her roles as mother and grandmother, the only ones she had left and ever knew to fulfill. Ella knows there is pride in that fulfillment, and while questions will go unanswered, because our answers can only be our perception projected, we will always exhale in the pride of our inheritance. My name is Ren Alessandra. Not because I was born that way, but because I thought that way would be how I would teach you to respect me. It's a name that's feminine, but also a bit different. It's foreign, but in a pretty way. A bit easier to say, because that's the thing that makes me more desirable, right? Australian and seen. But my name isn't Ren Alessandra. It's something a little more ethnic and apparently funny. It's not funny. My name is a bloodline of ripe tempers and an ass that doesn't quit. More backbreakers at times, but at all times committed. It's not a name you'll easily say. It's not your fault. Let me teach you. My family's name is Pennesi. Let me hear you. Pennesi. Double N, one S. This is not English. And in that case, I know now that you really understand that it takes more than men building concrete cash columns on the back of capitalizing the slur, on making everything the slur, breeding on our stereotypes, dressing as women, but only hiring one woman that actually gets to be seen. That's what I see. It takes more than men. Repeat after me. Patrizia. Yeah. Lucia. Stefania. Brava. Those names are the heart cause of a bloodline that runs through so many veins. I dare you to keep up with the amount that they have done for us and the parts of your life that you pay to live, like pizza dates and pasta joints and Riviera trips. That colore of your life was built too by the hands of these women who in the country their blood trusted, hardly heard their name on the tongues of those who now love everything else about them. Where are their voices? I want to hear them, and I am proud to be one. Anna Maria named me Ren Alessandra Pennesi. Antonietta called me Loren. We are Wog Girls. Thank you. Thank you so much. In response to that, spoken word gifted me the words to find that story of my heritage. This art form, and I can only speak to my experience, but I would not have been able to do that learning and that healing and that exploration without this art form. This art form is powerful. This art form is important. It offers so much space for community, for healing, for understanding. I've learned more on this stage about myself and about others than any classroom, than any university lecture hall, than any book I've ever read, and I'm a teacher. This art form is so powerful. So if you are feeling called to be a part of community, if you are sitting there going, whoa, like this art form has done something for this person, what can it offer me? It's here for you. It's so accessible. So please tell your story. It needs to be heard. Yeah, absolutely. So folks, we now have a very special performance tonight as I go down and suss out what's next. So please welcome all the way to the stage the incredible Aloma Davis.
So I'm not usually a nervous performer, but by God, how do you follow that? I'm not joking. I'm serious. That was incredible, incredible. And that's why she was our national champion. All right. This poem is called The Good Socks. When my son finally let me know he was my daughter, after a heartbeat of hesitation, I adapted. After earnest talks with teachers, doctors, aunts and uncles, grandparents, after tear off the band-aid chats with the churchy neighbour, the macho basketball coach, after joining glacial waiting lists for specialists like an endocrinologist, one of those words you know, but you've never had to say out loud before, like bête noire. So many new pronouncements. And finagling her a new library card, I finally fell to the simple joy of buying her wardrobe. Well, she was not shilly-shallying on the shores of uncertainty, but she was diving into ruffles, florals, and dresses. She was splashing her way through lace and lip gloss to reach the bright island of herself. But I know that no matter what she wears, there will be those who will look with their eyes to see who she was, instead of with their hearts to see who she is. They say she isn't she. They say they don't understand, so it's not real. Well, I don't understand how gravity works, but I know it's real. Why can't they see the gravity of this situation? Their words, shackle and shend, render her a statistic. 82% of girls like my daughter will consider suicide because these people are entitled to their opinions. So I will not teach my daughter, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you, because research proves they will kill her instead. But for now, each morning she takes care to dress, and she comes out wearing an open smile, like an apricot tree fruiting after years of budding disappointment. I wonder how I failed to notice how tightly closed it was before. Last night, I shopped for the final gap in her wardrobe, her socks. But unfortunately, my daughter's perfect socks are unfindable because they come from a department store in the 1980s. Frankston Meyer, Varley, short, white, with a lace ruffle. You know the ones. I could not abide them, but every year they were rolled like icing on my feet. They were destined to gather snags and stains every day, and surely my mother knew that they were a futile gesture, and yet she bought them. She would smooth my hair, and before she took the photo, she would tell me I had a beautiful smile. 30 years later, here is my daughter, sweeter than cake, too good, unwearable in this world. I would roll myself onto her feet to spare her, but all I can do is soothe her fears and coax out that beautiful smile. When my son finally let me know she was my daughter, after a heartbeat of hesitation, I adapted. But it is not us who need to. Her bête noire is the world, and it is still budding. I wonder how we failed to notice how tightly closed it was before.
Haven't we been so blessed tonight? Haven't we? Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Aloma, thank you. Beautiful. Oh, what a mum. Amazing. So, I was really hoping that I did not just show up the name, but we've got the winners here. Would you like to know? Woo! Amazing. So sorry, that was really loud. So I have the top three here because we podium these things. To be clear, so we've got the three, the people who have come, the top three, oh my goodness, and the top two will be getting flown up to Sydney. Yeah, I know, cool, huh? Flown up to Sydney to compete in the national final on the 8th of October. I do believe it's being streamed, so definitely check it out. But before we do that, I would like to just give one more round of applause to everyone participating in tonight. Well done. Well done. Okay, so please give us a drum roll for the third place. The third place goes to Samira. Come on. Woo! right, so the second place in getting flown up to Sydney to represent Victoria at the national final is Eve. Woo! And finally, without further ado, our winner of tonight's state final is Kiera. Woo, 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 woo. Here are your representatives, everybody. Come stand in the light, girls. Folks, take your photos, share it on Instagram, do the things, let everybody know that these are our representatives for Victoria. Folks, thank you so much for being a part of this incredible event. Please know that there are spoken word events that are happening all over the city. I want to thank everybody who's participated in tonight, but yes, please do check out Melbourne Spoken Word. Check out events like Mother Tongue, like Radio Laria. I run one called Wordcraft. Check out Into the Verse. Check out Poetry Spective. There are so many of them, and they are incredible, incredible parts of community. We've got our young people representing the next generation of poets. I could not be more proud. Thank you to the State Library for hosting this event. You're an incredible partner. We absolutely love working with you. Thank you to our scorekeeper and our timekeeper, Amir. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to all the producers, to Richie, to Josh, to Caitlin, to everybody else on the bar and working all of the other bits and pieces. It is a huge puzzle piece. Judges, thank you. You did a really good job. Really, really happy with that. Well done. And to all of you, thank you so much for being a part of this event. Please stick around. Tell a poet you love what they got going on. Please let the poet know, because there's nothing better than a little bit of validation from a crowd. And thank you so much. We hope to see you at another open mic. And yes, let poetry prevail. Thank you so much. Take your photos and get a drink, folks. Thank you. Oh, folks, actually, before you head off, please do keep in mind we do have a Mentee survey. It's a QR code. If you could please take 30 seconds of your time with your loved ones to just give us some feedback. It really helps us develop this event and get funding, because, yeah, poetry deserves funding. So please do scan that QR code on your way out. It'll really, really help us out. So thank you, thank you, thank you.